We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about some basic definitions in geometry. So here are some of the basic definitions that we'll be dealing with. Point, line, line segment, and ray. So I've given you sort of a brief definition as well as two different representations. So for a point, for instance, a point is just a specific point in space or a place in space. The first part of our representation is how you might see it written in a sentence. So if they have the point and then a, you know they're talking about a specific point. If it's an actual picture, it's going to look more like this, with the point and then a either below or above, typically below. Now, as you can see from my other representations, that there's a point A and a point B within this line. There's a point A and a point B within this line segment. There's a point A and a point B within this ray. So points can be all by themselves or as a part of something else. For a line is going to continue forever in both directions. It's okay to have a couple of points on there, but note that the arrow continues past the points on both of those. The other way that you might see a line written is you might see a script lowercase letter, in which case they might just say line L in a word or sentence format, or they might write it like this also. Again, the arrows on each end tell us that it is a line that we're talking about as opposed to a segment or a ray. A line segment can be part of a line, so we could say that this is segment AB, but line AB would continue forever. You might just see it end at those 2 points, and that's fine too. So it has 2 endpoints. Note that when it's written in the sentence form, that it's going to have a line segment above it so that we know there's no arrows. And with a ray is sort of like half of a segment and half of a line. So one end, it stops, the other end continues forever in that direction. And so that is what it would look like with the little arrow. Here is what it would look like as a picture. Notice that when I write ray AB, the A comes first because we always start with whatever the end point is first, and then the side that continues forever. So if I were looking back at my line segment, let me get rid of the rest of that. If I were looking back at my line segment, I could say I have ray AB, which would start here and continue forever in this direction. Or I could say I have ray BA, which would start here and continue forever in this direction. So we're going to draw each of the following just so we know. Go ahead and press pause here and draw all 4 of those and then press play. For my first, again, notice there's no arrows on the top, so I know it's an MN. And there's not going to be any arrows, so it's going to look just like that. Ray XY, again, it doesn't matter the direction that your ray is pointing. It can be pointing up. It doesn't matter, but what does matter is that the X has to be in the endpoint and the Y has to be on the side with the arrow. Notice that's the way it's written. PQ means it's a line that continues forever in each direction. It doesn't matter which one's P and which one's Q. And then point P obviously would just be a point, and then P above or below, but typically below.